Green Bay, Wisconsin. No team means more to a city than the Packers to Green Bay, and this was the scene a few moments ago as the green and gold made their way out of the historic tunnel. They're ready to go as they get set to match up with Carson Wentz and the Philadelphia Eagles. This will be taken short. And he's going to be out of bounds on the return way back at the 11.
At their own 11-yard line.
Blue 58. 3, Mike. You're not ready. You're not ready.
This drive starting off on the right foot, 18 yards.
Well, that play looks familiar because we saw them working on it in practice this week. And for a lineman trying to block on this play, they love when they get the defense moving in one direction. And when they try and change directions, it's a lot easier to pick them up and ward them off.
Blue 58. Check. Watch 54. Let's go, tight end. Let's go right here. Mike 5-4.
Off the play fake to Jones. Here's Rodgers. They'll roll him out right. He gets this to Devontae Adams. And he gets this to the other side of midfield across the 45 before going out. A really good pickup of 28 yards.
First down. First and 10 at the 43-yard line.
So from Philadelphia territory now, here's a 1st and 10 at the 43.
Over.
They'll go with their leading rusher from a season ago. This is Aaron Jones. Just a yard on the first down carry, so it's 2nd and 9.
They tried a quick hitter inside, but that one was swallowed up because what they're hoping, those big defensive linemen will take the bait and move laterally and open up a crease that they can run through. Didn't happen on that play.
Here's 2nd and 9, just a yard on that last run.
Let's go, D.
Throwing is Rodgers. Setting up the screen here, Aaron Jones. And he's going to get this inside the 30. And he has another first down as they'll get the ball down to the Eagles' 28.
I like the screen being called here early in the game, especially on the opening drive, because, Brandon, when guys come out of the locker room, especially those pass rushers, they are so amped up to get to the quarterback that you can use that against them, and a screen pass is a great way of doing it. A lot of teams against good pass rushing teams, they want to run the screen 10 to 12 times in a game.
12 more yards there and another first down. Quite the opening drive march they're on right now.
It looks a lot like what we saw in practice prior to the game, doesn't it? You know, because on that last big practice beforehand, you go through your offensive script. You go through your play calling. You go through all the stuff and establish things. And it looks like it's going like clockwork right now for them.
Now a fake on the give here as they try to run pass option. And he's going to be taken down, sacked back around the 18-yard line. Zach Brown making his presence felt in the backfield. So after the sack, they'll come up on a still manageable 2nd and 13. Here's Rodgers. Flushed out right. And it's intercepted at the goal line. Picked off by Malcolm Jenkins. And he'll be brought down at his own 10-yard line. Oh, and I saw the pressure coming at him. That just looked problematic. Hit him as he threw it, and the interception ensued. Let me pay homage to the man who stood in this spot before. He always talked about how much pressure is in the face of a guy, and can he step into a throw. And when you can't do that, oftentimes interceptions result. And he'll find some room to get this up to about the 14. When we see those runs to the perimeter, when we see those runs to the edge, we think about big breakers, don't we? In this case, it was a modest gain, but it does open up possibilities here on 2nd down. It's a 2nd down run with Sanders. And he'll get this one up to about his 14. Josh Jackson, the former Iowa Hawkeye, made the play defensively. He was hoping to get to the edge, but they did a really nice job of forcing him back inside. That's excellent fundamental defensive football. Don't let them outside where they can really shred your defense.
Man, I got you. Man, I got you. Mike 50, Mike 50. Hey, let's get in them holes.
Now Wentz on 3rd down. Bringing it in, Jackson left side. And he's going to get this one across the 30-yard line.
Let's go. Let's do this.
17 yards. And a 1st down for Philly.
It's a gain of 17 yards. And an Eagle 1st down.
Line of scrimmage, the 31 now on 1st and 10.
I don't even know why this team showed up.
Play fake to Sanders. Now here's Wentz. The connection here with Nelson Aguilar. And the result here, a pickup of 8. Leaves him with 2 to go on 2nd down. A good pickup there. 8 yards on the 1st down completion. Facing a 2nd and 2 after that last catch. Good for 8 yards.
Hey, D-line, let's get in there. Let's get in there,
Here's Wentz to throw. Caught right side. It's Jeffrey. And he stopped after a gain of 1. Not enough. Still a yard to go on 3rd down.
One thing we do know, he's going to get his catches. So as they move forward defensively, got to continue to focus on not giving up the big play when he does catch the ball in the secondary.
Hey, exit. Mike's 50. Mike's 50. Oh, you got deep? Shift.
Wentz to throw on 3rd and 1. Trying for the tight end, Ertz, and it's intercepted. Adrian Amos with a pick, and he's going to take this one back to the 37-yard line. So a pretty shaky start here for both sides.
Yeah, each quarterback's throwing a ball to the other team. Do you think on both sidelines they're sitting them down and saying, okay, remember, this is the color jersey we're wearing. They're wearing the other color. Let's make sure we get it to our guys, please.
So after the INT, it's Rodgers. Eluding the pressure right. Man open, that's Marquez Valdez-Scantling. And he'll be taken down, but not before he gets into enemy territory. Successful start to the drive, 17 yards, and moves the sticks. Now a first down carry by Jones. They'll get only a couple down to the 44.
They tried a quick hitter inside, but that one was swallowed up because what they're hoping, those big defensive linemen will take the bait and move laterally and open up a crease that they can run through. Didn't happen on that play.
On second down, it's Jones. And he's got this down to the 35. It's a first down on a gain of 10.
Tremendous blocking by the interior of the offensive line. They didn't just gash him there. They blasted a gaping hole for him to gallop through. I think if he comes back to the huddle, he better be giving them a whole lot of credit and thanking them for that much space to rumble.
After the run by Jones, here's 1st and 10.
53, Mike 53. Hey, come on out here. Come get it.
From the gun, it's Rodgers. And that's complete. It's Allington. And this will be a gain of 5 as he gets it to the 30.
Brandon, perfect defense in this situation would have meant that there was an incompletion. They would have picked it off. Okay, so they gave up the completion. But I really enjoyed watching how the defense stayed in sync, stayed in great communication. And as he dragged across each zone, you see him pointing, communicating. There he is, and they passed him off to...
And Rodgers is going to go down. He's sacked. Give the sack to Fletcher Cox.
The competition comes up in so many different ways. And right now, this unit, their competition is who's going to get to the quarterback the most times. Had about 5 sacks last week, and we just saw their first one of this game.
Rodgers now, after the sack, he'll lead the pack up on 3rd and long. And left side here, it's Graham. And he'll only get this to about the 35, well short of the line to gain. They get only 4 that time as that leads us to a 4th down.
One of the money routes for any offense, the drag route. So tough to defend because the receiver can stop at any point and make himself available to the quarterback and get a completion. But I love the communication we saw there. All the defenders pointing out the receiver where he was going, and then they're able to rally to the ball after the catch and stop him short of a first down. Everything looked good. Good snap, good hold. Sometimes, though, the ball just doesn't want to go where you want it. And this one winds up no good.
Good field position to start the drive after the missed field goal. Here's first down from the 42. They start on the ground here at Sanders. And this one's going to go the wrong way. Losing yardage back at the 42. It's a loss of a yard there, and now second down.
Doubling this guy has to be a priority before moving up to the next level because the big fella, he just ate that one alive, just stuffed it. In fact, before the game, he was talking to us, and he's like, hey, these pants make me look fat. And we said, nah, man, you're just a whole lot of guy.
He is at well over 300 pounds. He's a big man. They'll wind up getting 10 back as that sets him up for 3rd down. So from 2nd and long, now we go to 3rd and very manageable.
Yeah, they love that phrase, don't they? Because as an offensive coordinator, you can keep people a little bit off balance and guessing because you don't have to throw it. You can come back with a strong run game if you want to. And if you're in 4-down territory, that really opens things up for you.
Just 4 yards on the pickup, but that's good enough to extend the drive.
Well, partner, none of these runs individually have added up to a whole lot.
Now 3 plays, all 3 short runs, but together a first down.
Yeah, it's amazing how the narrative changes when you string them together.
Now a play fake here on first down. Into heavy traffic, and it's intercepted. Kevin King with a pick. And it's a good return here as he'll get all the way up close to the 35.
Good stuff. Keep doing
So that's back-to-back drives where they've thrown an interception. Ordinarily, we look at the offense and say, what's going on with your scheme? Maybe we should look at the defense and just give them a whole lot of credit. They've got them frustrated right now.
From the 34 now, here's 1st and 10. Now Rodgers. And now this is intercepted. My goodness. Picked off by Ronald Darby. There he goes left side. And he'll score. Touchdown, Eagles. I don't know who all is to blame there, but I love seeing pick sixes.
Nothing like seeing someone pluck it out of the air and go the other way and see people try to change directions. Hard to do.
Elliott good on the extra point, and it's now a 7-0 game. So they throw the pick six. They'll get another shot at it now as this one's in the air. And this will not be returnable. It's out of the back of the end zone for a touchback. About set to get this drive started. The Green Bay offense at the line. Now Rodgers to try again after the pick six. And that's complete. It's Allington. He's going to be dropped following a pickup of 7 past the 30 to the 32. 7 yards, the pickup on the pitch and catch. They'll operate from the 32-yard line here, 2nd and 3.
Hey, we're pretty quiet, D. We're pretty quiet.
Now Rodgers. He sets up the screen to Jones. It's a pickup of 17 and a 1st down.
Let's go.
When you run a screen pass really well, you got to like the look of it because so many parts come together to make it work well. The offensive linemen, where they're faking people out, the back slipping out there, catching the football, then all of them going together as one unit downfield. A really nice pickup.
Good work, boys. Let's go. Let's go.
Coming up at the half, a reminder, we go back to Orlando to check in with Jonathan Coachman. He'll have a look back at our first half as well as a look ahead to what's coming up later this weekend.
Keep playing hard.
Now a chance to make that encroachment penalty really hurt. 1st and 5.
Let's go.
Rodgers going to throw. This complete to Jones. And he gets this inside the 35-yard line. Another nice gain. That's now 30 yards between those last 2 plays. Looked like a pretty good, safe play right there. No, he's had trouble with the interceptions in this game there. Hits his guy out in the flat.
Yeah, so many times we hear quarterbacks and offensive...
And Rodgers intercepted a 3rd time. Picked off by Jalen Mills. That's sort of a second quarter to forget for him. Now 2 picks in this frame.
Almost as if the first one that he threw, he couldn't shake, couldn't get it out of his head. He ends up throwing a second one as a result.
Compounds the mistake a little bit.
Yeah, you got to be able to forget, compartmentalize, whatever you want to call it, and move on. He hasn't been able to do so here in the second.
Through an opening, and there he goes. Touchdown, Philadelphia. Miles Sanders with his first career NFL touchdown. And the Eagles are able to strike quickly for 6. Well, he's used to running it that distance. Here he had to catch it, too, before making the run. Heck of a play for the score.
There's not many things better for an offense than a back who's a complete guy, who can run it and catch it. And we just saw him complete a big-time play for a touchdown.
Now after the touchdown, here's Elliott on to kick it away. And this will be a touchback as that sails over the end line. The offense now at the line, ready for their next drive. Already down 2 touchdowns here in the first half. This becomes a pretty important drive, doesn't it?
It certainly does, and a lot of the teams script plays. We know that, right? They have a script to start the ball game, and typically those scripts go between 12 and 24, 25 plays. Down 2 touchdowns early, probably not very deep into their script. I think that they'll stay with it. I don't think they'll abandon it just yet and try and generate some offense on this drive.
Anything. At least 3 points, get that 0 off the board. An incomplete pass leads to 2nd and 10 from the 25. Rodgers now throwing again. Caught. It's Ellington. And they nearly get this all the way to midfield. Mark him down at the 49. That one covers 24 yards. It's a first down. On first down, Rodgers. Ellington has it, middle of the field. And he's got this down to the 35. And the gain here to the previous play, and it's better than 40 yards total.
Some think the teams really won't throw a slant route unless you have a receiver that has a lot of stature to him. But sometimes the little guys, they get lost.
And he can't get rid of it. He's taken down. The Packers going to use one of their timeouts as they'll stop it with 13 seconds to play in half number 1. Sacks, a growing theme in this first half. This is 2nd and long. Here's Rodgers to throw. Oh, he's going to let this go for the end zone. And that is incomplete, stopping the clock with 5 seconds to go. He was looking there for Bruce Ellington, and that'll make it 3rd down. An incomplete pass on that last play, and that means they'll need to come up with something here on 3rd down. Rodgers with a give. It's Aaron Jones, and he's going to be met at about the 43. So we come upon halftime with our score 14-0. As we'll send you down to Orlando, we check in with Jonathan Coachman for our EA Sports Halftime Report. Coach, so the Eagles with the lead, and they're going to get this football first as the 3rd quarter gets underway. And that'll carry over the back line of the end zone for a touchback. The offense back out there at the line, ready for their next drive. They built a good first half lead. Now they have a chance to add on to it.
And what I'm thinking is that the offensive staff spent the entire halftime just working with them on, here's what we think they're going to do to attack us in the second half. Nice first half that we've had, guys, but be prepared for some change-ups. We're going to see them when we kick it off in the second half.
See how they handle any adjustments that might be made defensively. Now Sanders, and 3 yards there, takes him to the 45.
3rd quarter and you've got the lead. You're not ready to go into that 4-minute offense to close the game out, but a running game can really benefit your team right now.
At the 45-yard line.
The last run got 3. Now here's 2nd and 7.
Hey, defense, let's go. Pick it up, D. Alert 3, alert 3, alert 3.
Now Wentz. Jeffrey reels it in over the middle. And this is going to result in another first down as the tackle's made at the Packers' 43.
This has to go down as one of the simpler routes in the playbook, but oh so effective. Nice completion there. Keeps the sticks moving.
On 1st and 10, it's Sanders. He's got the first down here inside the 30. Touchdown, Philadelphia! Miles Sanders with 2 touchdowns on the season, both in this game. And the Eagles able to push further out in front. Always important to get the first score of the second half. Now you start to pull away a little bit and get some breathing room going.
And now we find out about the fortitude of the group that's behind, because they were counting on getting into the game a little bit more, right? Maybe they get the first score. That doesn't happen. It looks almost insurmountable, but it's not. Let's see how hard they play the rest of the game.
This will be taken very short. And they'll start in a hole here as he's brought down at the 11-yard line.
In this position, trying to get back into the game, teams are looking for a spark from their special teams. That's not what they got, though. They got a setback, and they have a long field to cover if they want to try and put points on the board.
Rodgers will bring the pack up with a 1st and 10 at their own 11. A throw left side to start the drive is complete. And they'll get him down after a pickup of 8. 2nd and 2. A good pickup there. 8 yards on the first down completion. Facing a 2nd and 2 after that last catch. Good for 8 yards. To throw is Rodgers. The left side throw complete to Adams. And he's going to get this one across the 30-yard line. Back-to-back good plays have him on the move on first down. Pressure from his right, and he goes down hard, flat on his back. Derek Barnett able to maneuver in for the sack. Throwing on 2nd and long. Rodgers. The catch is made by Ellington. And he'll be taken down, but not before they work it across midfield. It'll go as an impressive 31-yard gain.
First down.
Check. Watch 54. Watch 54. I got you.
Now Jones. It's a 6-yard gain on the ground, and that'll make it 2nd and 4.
Despite the blitz, they're still able to pick up a nice solid gain. The disadvantage of blitzing often alters the normal spacing and run fits and leaves creases like they were able to exploit right there.
On 2nd down and 4. Rodgers. And they're going to get him. He's taken down for a sack. Back at the 47-yard line. Derek Barnett able to drop him that time for his 2nd sack of the evening. Rodgers now, after the sack, he'll lead the pack up on 3rd and long. Working from the gun. Rodgers under pressure again, and down he goes again. Derek Barnett bringing the pressure yet again. That's his 3rd sack here tonight. Here's J.K. Scott now. And surprisingly, this is the first punt of the game for either team. Nice job bringing that one back. 14 on the return. And the Eagles will have it, taking over 1st and 10.
At their own 40-yard line.
The Eagles offense set to begin their next drive. And now you've got the clock winding down here in the 3rd quarter. You're 3 scores to the good. What's your approach on this drive?
Too early to fully commit to playing the clock game. Yet at the same...
Defenders giving chase, but I don't think they're going to get there. Touchdown, Philadelphia. Miles Sanders, 60 yards. And the Eagles able to push further out in front.
Well, 3 scores in this game. I think that deserves some type of a broad gesture. I know in hockey, that's called a hat trick, and people throw their hats out on the ice. What about us? What can we do for this guy?
Well, if I'm his teammates, I'm buying him a little steak dinner tonight, right? At least a skirt steak, probably a filet.
Oh, you're going big. I like that.
Yeah, I mean, skirt at minimum, filet
steak,
at
come
maximum.
On. You can't give the guy a skirt steak.
That's
He scores 3 times.
Filet.
There you go.
10 ounce, 16 ounce.
Porterhouse.
Fine. This will be fielded at the 6. And he'll take this up past the 20 and down at the 22-yard line.
At their own 22-yard line.
The Packer offense ready to get their next drive underway. They have been struggling. I would imagine at halftime they went through some possible changes. Well, those changes aren't working, so now where do you go?
I think that now it's much more in their head. And what I mean by that is just what you said. You've gone over the changes. I bet they were pretty clinical at the half, not too emotional. They might need to go to the emotional side because you've got to find something, some spark somewhere. And so far, just being calm hasn't exactly worked.
They need any spark at this point. Now a deep ball there on 2nd down, but it'll wind up incomplete. After an incomplete pass on 2nd down, that'll leave them trying to convert on 3rd and 9. Now it's Rodgers. And a throw there going to be incomplete. Another drive comes and goes. Still nothing on the scoreboard.
Yeah, and when the second half comes, you know, it's real easy to get discouraged and wonder if you're ever going to get things started. You just got to fight through it. Got to keep pounding away.
With it is Jackson. Give him 11 yards that time on the return. And the offense will take over with a new set of downs. The offense now at the line, ready for their next drive. This is sort of what you would call a put-away drive, isn't it? They score here, especially a touchdown. It's almost out of reach.
It certainly feels that way, and I think that they're going to call their plays accordingly, because what you really want to do, even though you know the scoreboard is still up there and the game's going to go on, you feel like you can take the spirit away from another team, that their drive and will to come back and win can be taken with another score right here.
It's still third quarter, but you just get that feel.
Yeah, they're teetering right there on the brink, aren't they?
And he cuts it right into space. And they'll wind up getting this one all the way down.
First down, Philadelphia.
Trying to get one more in here before the quarter breaks. One quarter remains here in this Thursday night matchup. We'll return with more after this. You're watching the NFL on EA Sports.
Here we go. 180. Rip right.
On first down, Sanders. And he'll take it into the end zone for an Eagles touchdown. A 16-yard touchdown run as his guys continue to put this one out of reach. And let's not forget he had the receiving touchdown earlier, now a trio of rushing touchdowns. Quite a performance.
Diversification, that's all you can talk about. His ability to do everything leaves him on the field on every down on offense, because you can hand it to him, as we've seen. What'd you say, 3 rushing touchdowns? And, of course, throw it to him where he's caught one as well.
Now after the touchdown, here's Elliott on to kick it away. And they will not get a chance to return this one, as it's through the end zone for a touchback. About set to get this drive started, the Green Bay offense at the line. And let's face it, this drive is not going to have any bearing on this game, but it's kind of important for one reason, isn't it? And now a fumble. The ball's out, and it's picked up by the Eagles. And they take possession of the football and have it at the 36-yard line.
Well, partner, I think it's safe to say they can mark this down as extremely frustrating. Here we are in the fourth quarter, and that last play, that turnover, I think it epitomizes what happened to them all day on offense.
So symbolic, and that's why they're still being shut out. So from the 36 now, 1st and 10. Now a first down run is going nowhere. He's going to be dropped in the backfield, a loss of 2. He was looking for Miles Sanders out of the backfield, and that'll bring up second down.
Brings up second and 12 at the 38-yard line.
Here we go, Pac-Man. 280. Watch the run.
Now Wentz. And he'll hit Jeffrey, complete. It's a pickup of 12, and that'll set up a third down.
It's a nice completion, a little bit of run after catch as well to create the yardage that they got. But it is so tough to cover that route, the drag route, because they run it at varying speeds. Because the key is to create hesitancy on the defender's part.
Always so empathetic for those DBs, aren't you?
Let's go, D. Tighten up.
On third down, they'll run it with Sanders. And he will have the first before he's brought down right on the chalk of the 20. It'll go as a gain of 6 that time, and it moves the chains as well.
And an Eagle first down.
Here we go. D, Mike's 50. You better bring it.
Right back to Sanders on first down. And this will be a gain of 6 when it's all said and done. Down to the 15 from the 21.
Oh, that's one to warm the hearts of all those old school football players, isn't it? Tough, hard, gritty run. Got behind his pads, bowled over a few people. Look at that one, right up the gut.
Saw it through 3 quarters. No reason to lighten up now. On second down, it's Sanders. And now they're inside the 10 as he's brought down at the 9. 6 yards to pick up, and that's a first down.
Do my eyes deceive me, or is he getting stronger as this game moves along?
Burst seems just as good here in the 4th as it was way back in the 1st, doesn't it?
I do believe someone put a lot of time in the offseason and continues to condition during the season in order to continue to carry the ball at this rate.
Here we go. 280. Man, that's trash. That's trash. Check 50. Check 50.
They'll run with Sanders. And from the 9, they get this to the 5-yard line. So that run gets them about halfway home.
Yeah, it's now 2nd and goal. The end zone beckons. It looms. They can do whatever they want. Full playbook. Run it again, or they can go play action and try and put it in that way.
And the ball smack dab on the 5-yard line. Here's 2nd and goal. Wentz on to give to Sanders. And he will push his way forward down to about the 3-yard line. Call it a gain of a yard as they get a little bit closer here. It's 3rd and goal. From the 3 now. Here they come on 3rd and goal. Trying to punch it in with Howard. And he's in for an Eagles touchdown. Jordan Howard. His first touchdown on the year as his guys continue to pour it on.
And now we've hit that stage of the game, partner, where one of our predecessors, one of the great commentators of all time, he used to sing in this situation when this game appeared to be over.
I know the fat lady's been singing for some time.
No, not her at all. This is one of our guys.
But she's singing, too.
Oh, she's singing. She's
on, like, the 5th tune at this point.
She left Scales way behind, but he used to sing something about turning out the lights. The party was over.
And this will not be returnable. It's out of the back of the end zone for a touchback. The offense back out there at the line, ready for their next drive. And last time, not only the turnover, but that turned into 6 points. They got to make up for that here.
We always hear about empty possessions, but some are worse than others. You can have an empty possession, punt the ball away, get yourself set to play defense, but when you turn it over, it changes momentum, and when they take it downfield and punch it in on you, that's a bad possession all the way around.
Yeah, but you're hungry to get back out there, aren't you?
You better be, because otherwise, it's going to be a long day for you.
A first down there on a pickup of 25.
1st and 10 at the 49-yard line.
Rodgers now a perfect 8 for 8 to start the second half. Not bad. 1st and 10.
You go, Mike. You got tight.
From the shotgun, a give to Jones. And across the midfield stripe into Eagle territory. Malik Jackson there to make the stop. Just 2 minutes remaining here in the 4th quarter of what has been a one-sided affair.
At the Eagles' 45-yard line.
So it's Packer football here as we welcome you back. They're looking at 2nd down now as they search for a consolation score. From the 45 on 2nd down, Rodgers, throw left side complete. That's Adams. And he has another first down as they get the ball down to the Eagles' 33.
Nice game there, partner, but you and I both know that won't do anything for the final score. They're not going to win this one. Right now, they're playing for pride and fantasy points.
And just to erase that goose egg, nobody wants to be shut out. That is caught at the 7. And finally, down he goes as they work it inside the 10 to the 7. That'll be marked as a 27-yard pickup. Now Jones. And he's able to get it down to the 2-yard line. It'll be a pickup of 4, and it brings up 2nd and goal. They'll try and run it in with Jones. And he's across for the touchdown. Too little, too late. But he does get in for 6.
No wonder you're grinning. You just beat me in our fantasy league.
Indeed I did, my good man. So they will get on the scoreboard here. Give them credit for that. Too little, too late, but no 0. Oh, you're going slow clap on me.
Not very nice, is it?
No, but they haven't been very nice on offense. It's been a struggle. Crosby connects on the extra point as they make the score just a slight bit more respectable here in the final quarter of play.
Packers 7. Mason Crosby to kick off for Green Bay.
Now after the touchdown, here's Crosby to kick it away. This is taken at his 4. And it's a pretty good return here as he'll get it up to the 29-yard line.
Eagles take over 1st and 10 at their own 29-yard line.
The Eagles offense set to begin their next drive. And this game comfortably in hand. The scoreboard speaks for itself, but you still got your starting quarterback out there. When do you go to the backup? Let him get some time.
And that's one of the great questions in the NFL, Brandon, because I'm just going to tell you, in the 2015 season, I commentated on 3 games in a row. There were blowouts. And in none of them did the starting quarterback ever come out of the game for the team that had a big lead. And in each instance, I asked the coaches later on, why didn't you do that? And they all looked at me and said, just don't really do that in the NFL. You know, these guys play, and we just play them all the way through. Now, in certain situations, they will take them out, but for the most part, they're not as worried and concerned about getting them out of the game. And that's always puzzled me a little bit.
And for one of the first times all night, he is going to go nowhere as they bury him behind the line. Well, Charles, it's one thing to win. It's another thing to win and put up the amount of points that they did. Boy, were they clicking on offense.
They can't help but feel great about themselves, can they? I mean, what a game to put up that number of points, continually feeling like they're moving the ball and things are working and clicking. They think that they can bottle this and carry it with them.
And as an offensive coordinator, you just don't think you can do anything wrong. Whatever you call, run, pass, it's all going to work.
That's called being in the zone.
So for Philadelphia, they're on a nice early roll as they move to 3-1 with a win here. And they'll get a few extra days to get ready for next week. Meanwhile, for the Packers, they'll fall back to 500 at 2-2. And they'll try to get back on track next week as they head to Dallas to take on the Cowboys. And for Charles Davis and our entire crew, I'm Brandon Gaudin. You've been watching the NFL on EA Sports.